Alright guys, welcome to another video. What I'd like to do this one is a CAS mission tutorial. CAS stands for Combat Air Support, and what I have on my loadout is a typical CAS loadout. I got some unguided Mark 82s for visual bombing, a cluster bomb unit on the right wing, that white pod on the on the left wing. That white pod on the right wing is a rocket pod, and then just the standard 20mm Vulcan cannon on the left side of the canopy there. So the first thing we'll do is we'll set everything up. I'll do a quick fence in, go lights off. I'll usually turn the recording equipment on. Right down here, there's something that I'm learning about is the altitude low. It prioritizes AAA threats, so it can help you out. And then you also want to go to mode priority. The RWR can show you up to 16 targets. Priority says, you know what, I just want the 5 top targets that are a threat to my aircraft. So you want to go ahead and do that. And then, of course, Master Arm is on. We'll go air-to-ground mode here. And if you go into the SMS page, first thing we'll do is we'll drop these Mark 82s in pairs in CCIP mode. And CCIP stands for Continuously Calculated Impact Point. If you press the nose wheel steering button like we talked about in the HOTUS, it'll cycle between these different types of bombing modes. So CCIP, and then the last thing is you want to make sure that you have a good air-to-ground program. You want to be in manual mode or whatever it is that you're using. And program 4 for me is intermittent chaff and flare. So it'll just continue to disperse about 6 flares and chaff as we go down into the target area. Okay, so all visual right now, and as you roll in, you want to make sure that you are deploying chaff and flare. And I'll level out for a second here. So you want to be about 10 or 20 degrees offset from the target, and then I'll target those Hueys down there. What I'll do is I'll roll inverted, I'll squat the jet, and then I'll roll out on target here. And you want your combat speed to be about 400 to 500 knots.
Pull up.
And then 5G turn off target.
Chaff, flare.
And altitude's your friend. Keep jinking off target. And chaff and flare in case you get launched by a man pad here. Use terrain masking if you need to. Okay. And I'm just climbing back up. There's no need, one of the biggest mistakes that I make is groveling down in the mud. There's no need to be kind of groveling in there at 1,000 feet doing 5G turns and just re-attacking, because there's AAA, there's AK-47. The vertical distance, the more vertical distance you can put between you and your attacker, the better. So if you can be up here at 10,000 feet rather than down in the dirt, it greatly reduces the chances that you're going to be hit by enemy ground fire, including rifles and AAA, ZSUs, man pads, whatever the case may be. Okay, the next thing we'll do is we'll go into we'll select this cluster bomb unit, and we're going to deliver this using dive toss. Okay, if you can notice here, the release angle is 45. That's a really hard release angle to get. So just press release angle here. And I usually change that to about 20 or whatever your preference is. Even at 20, you need 500 knots of airspeed, or will not release. You need a lot of airspeed to literally toss that bomb into the air and give you some offset from the target area. Times when you would want to use this, obviously heavily defended target areas. It's not going to be as accurate as CCIP when you're flying directly over the target, but it's great for cluster bombs because they cover a wide area, and you can give yourself some standoff. It's called standoff distance from the target. Okay, so right now, what I'll do is roll back in. We're about 10 miles from the target. You do want to give yourself some room to set this up because it's a little finicky. Okay, again, visual on the target, and give yourself a lot of airspeed when you're doing a dive toss. Okay. So see that little box? That's where our radar's pointed. I'm going to target those little, that target area right there. There's about 5 targets. Okay, and what you'll see is, again, you just want to be lined up. You see that first fall line. You want to pickle, hold the pickle, and then when that circle comes up, you want to pitch up to 20 degrees up the ladder. And see how it released? So let's check the weapon view. Okay, my aircraft's over there somewhere, and what we can do is we can turn away from the target and let the bomb go towards the range. So there's the range. And again, what this enables you to do is to not fly directly over the target area. So there's the range, and not a bad hit here. We got it in the general area, so you can see it's not as accurate, and the closer the more perfect you release the bomb, the closer profile you fly, the better you're going to get a hit. And again, it's optimized for cluster bomb type munitions and things like that, or just like area strikes. If you're releasing a bunch of bombs, like 6 Mark 82s in one area, you can do that. Okay, next thing we'll do is we'll go over the rocket pod. And what I'll do for this is it's just a visual weapon, okay? You won't see any symbology if you're up at altitude, but as you get closer, actually no, you do. There's that little circle right there. That's where the rockets will impact. So what we'll do is
flare.
We'll roll in.
Flare. Low altitude. Altitude.
And again, combat speed 400 to 500 knots. The more speed, the better. Okay, I'll target the range again. Or actually, you know what? There's some BMPs and things on this side. Now, obviously, you want to be deploying chaff and flare the entire time. And
flare out.
And it'll release everything.
Pull up. Caution. Caution. Chaff flare.
And back up to altitude. Okay, last thing we'll cover as we climb is the gun, and all you got to do is hit this button, and it'll bring up the gun. And if you play DCS or use the A10, you'll be familiar with the HUD symbology. I'll roll back in on target here. And I'm just idle on the power. Let's see that gun cross. When the
altitude.
When you're in range, you'll see an in-range cue, and if you just observe here, you'll see it's a counterclockwise clock that'll start counting down like this way. See that? That means we're in range of the gun, and the closer you are, obviously, the more hits you're going to get. I'm just going to do a long burst. And again, 5G turn off target.
Chaff flare.
Chaff and flare. And break off the target.
Chaff flare low.
Alright, so I hope that helps in CAS missions. That was a really
chaff flare out.
Quick overview of just CAS, and remember that it's all visual, so you want to keep your eyes outside of the cockpit, keep your eyes on target, on the range, and kill some bad guys. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.